one of these two get on top in the second half. Both of them looking to enhance their playoff prospects. Barrow Raiders looking to close the gap on the sides above them. Featherstone Lee in Halifax. Sheffield looking to put a bit of distance between the chasers behind them, Batley and Widnes and Toulouse, looking to overhaul them perhaps. And Sheffield will be playing with the sun, the setting sun in their faces as they get the second half underway here. That could be a problem for Mark Aston's men. And one, surely a kicker of Jamie Rooney's expertise will be able to exploit.
Well, Sheffield will be looking to start this second half like they did the first half, putting Barrow under an awful lot of pressure, forcing them into making mistakes, giving penalties away. But Barrow finished the second. Oh! There you go. Menzieri. You can see Knowles getting up, having a little smile to himself. They'll be looking for that man next time he gets the ball in that area of the park.
Well, at least this newly laid and seeded pitch is nice and soft for Michael Knowles to land on, but that not far off from being a dangerous tackle, that one.
I'm not sure it's a soft one, Menzieri. Oh!
Missy Talapapa has done well to keep that in.
Good play by the Sheffield fullback. He saw that he was going to go into touch if he would have kept hold of that ball, but he had the vision and the experience to throw it up in play in the air, step into touch, step into the field of play, regather the ball. Exciting play from the fullback. Here you go. Pop it up.
Cool as you like from Missy Talapapa.
That is what you call composure.
Oh, but that's not. And a penalty for the high shot on Jed Corcoran.
Well, Jed Corcoran saying that the ball was stripped, but Chris Young's been done for the high tackle. Again, this is how they started the first half of the game, Bill.
Chris Young, who's played his rugby league from Wollongong to Workington on his globe-trotting career. And now then, Corcoran again. Another one of the Irish internationals out there. Matty Brooks, Dane McDonnell now. Alex Jostak coming back on the inside. Now Peter Green. Green gets past the first tackle and he's left, I think, Liam Campbell on the ground. No, I beg you, it's Liam Harrison who's on the deck. Gonna bang there. He's back up on his feet, Harrison. But Sheffield Eagles on the last, running the ball. And Missy Talapapa chips ahead, well taken by Broadbent. The Barrow Raiders captain doing well to diffuse the threat then. Let's get some early news in this second half from Rod Studd on the sideline.
Well, Mark Aston, a very happy man, Bill, and that set of six there epitomised what's made him so happy. He's delighted with his team's attitude. They completed their first 14 out of 14 sets, and he's been really pleased with the way they've finished them off by putting pressure on Barrow on their own line. More of the same, please, said Mark Aston. Well, Steve McCormack slightly less pleased as far as Barrow are concerned. Said they hadn't played well in the first half and, in fact, deserved to be behind. They're looking to put more pressure on Brendan Lindsay when he kicks, so they've identified that as a problem in the first half. The pitch, just to keep up to date on that, Bill, it is cutting up horribly. There's some patches of sand out there which are very, very awkward to walk across or run across, and the setting sun, that is a problem to Sheffield, as you've just seen then. And two, to the referee Gareth Hewer, when he's looking into the sun, when the play's going from right to left that we watch, it's very awkward to the referee too. So far from us to be sympathetic towards Gareth Hewer, but it's a tough job for him tonight.
Tough job for a full-back as well. Missy Talapapa claiming that that one went backwards.
What a mistake to make.
No way did it go backwards there. So 0-0 for the Samoan international at fullback for the Sheffield Eagles, as that knock-on gives Barrow Raiders head and feet at the scrum and sets Ned Katic running at the Eagles' defence. And Katic gets to his feet to play the ball. Luisi, little dummy, takes it on himself. Stopped just short of the try line by the Eagles' defence. Mike Burnett in there with the tackle. Katic. Here's Knowles now. He'll try his luck. Knowles trying to get an arm free to get that ball away. Nathan Mossop serves it up for Rooney now. Rooney. Broadbent trying to force his way through. Flat on his back, Gary Broadbent plays the ball. Harrison pops it up for Chris Young. Can Young get it down? He can! Great hands from the Barrow Raiders close to the try line there. And Gary Broadbent, a captain's knock from him. And Chris Young gets his 4th try of the season. And Barrow Raiders strike first in this second half.
Well, you wouldn't be a backfield player for a golden pick these days. You've got to take catches like that. Talipapa failed to pouch the ball, and it's from Gary Broadbent's quick play the ball that Chris Young finds himself with a one-on-one. He leaves 2 Sheffield players in his wake, and Liam Harrison pops out, attracts a couple of defenders, and Chris Young, one-on-one, all he needs to do is get the ball down. A good front rowers try.
Was a try scorer against the Sheffield Eagles last year in that game that Barrow got a bonus point from to secure the title. But on course for victory perhaps in this second half as Rooney converts. And Barrow Raiders go back in front by 20 points to 14. The chairman, Des Johnston, here in the crowd. And he'll be satisfied with the way his side have responded to a bit of adversity early on here.
Well, Matty Brooks, the number 20 for Sheffield, got that all wrong. He was too busy in looking what Liam Harrison was doing. He'd come out of the line, his hips were facing the touchline, and it was just Chris Young who just hit a real good line outside of him to score that try.
It's Jamie Butler with a strong run. Legs driving, I tell you what, there's some legs on Jamie Butler, goes up a long way, 6'5", and takes a bit of stopping once he's got a head of steam up. As Chris Young just going to ground in that sandy part of the pitch, the beach. Just inside their own half now, the Barrow Raiders.
Jamie Butler's legs are taller than Matty Brooks.
I think you're right there. He's giant of a man. Dane McDonald is all over the place in back play, just on the halfway line. There is Butler.
There's a real problem with him.
Eagles, a man down at the moment. Dane McDonald is back on his feet, but I'm not sure he's exactly sure which way he should be heading as Luisi fires the pass out wide, and Harrison couldn't take it. It was forward. It'll be the turnover, says the referee. Yeah. Meanwhile, McDonald is still down. Signal from the physio is that they're going to have to make the change.
Dane McDonald just goes low on Martin Osler, who bumps him off. Uses his buffers, a really aggressive bump off. Just catches his head in the wrong place. Whenever you see a player like that too low, he looks like Bambi on ice at the minute. He needs to be changed. He doesn't want to go off, though.
McDonald is in just arguing the toss with Alex Rowe and the physio at the moment.
Yeah, the medical people need to take that decision away from him. He's not well at all. Sit back down, have a drink of water and get your marbles back together.
Meanwhile, play continues. That's a great pass. And Menzieri, well, it needed somebody to get a hold of his shirt, and I think it was Ballard who just had a hold of his collar. And that was a good job for the Barrow Raiders, because he was gone then.
Andy Ballard read that well. He done well to control big Menzieri.
Here he is again, Menzieri. Ball back on the inside. This could be another great try. Talipapa for the line, and Missy Talipapa. Will he get his second try of the night? He reckons he has, and so does the referee, Gareth Hewer. So Missy Talipapa once again turns it around for the Sheffield Eagles. His knock-on leading to the Barrow Raiders try a moment ago, and now the full-back coming up to join in another Eagles attack and finish that one off. Barrow Raiders doing their best to try and stop him under the post, but they couldn't do that.
It's good support play from Sheffield. A big question mark on Brendan Lindsay's pass. But the shirts and bodies all over the place. Sheffield Eagles certainly aren't going to lie down for Barrow Raiders. Shows good determination. Let's have another look at this pass. That's not the angle to try and judge whether it was or wasn't. Irrelevant what I think. Talipapa. I thought for a minute he'd blown it, but just gets that ball over the line, over the whitewash.
And Bergin with a 100% kicking return so far this evening. Is he the answer to the Eagles' goal-kicking problems? Could be. And scores a level once again. Bergin with the conversion.
Here you can see Trevor Exton get that. It's a very good read here from Cook. He gets out, and he can see that Ned Katic is slow getting back. He plants his feet. He goes for Menzieri, but he just can't prevent that try. Missy Talapapa has had a big influence in this game.
I think there were question marks maybe about that first Brendan Lindsay pass to, I think it was Mike Burnett. Oh, and then Danny Mills almost makes a pig's ear of that restart.
Well, what did he say? You got to play to the whistle, and that's exactly what Sheffield did.
So the scores are level once again. These two, 4th and 5th in the table. Well, 5th and 4th in actual fact. And nothing to choose between. And Menzieri again threatening. How long is it before we see Menzieri get away?
What Sheffield are trying to do is get to Jamie Rooney and keep making him defend, because they know first, second and probably third time he has to make a tackle, there's a danger that he might make a mistake defensively.
On the last, and Lindsay thumps the kick downfield over the head of Ballard. It's a great kick from Brendan Lindsay.
He really does take control of the game, Brendan Lindsay. Wants his forwards to get them quick play the ball so he can kick the ball on the front foot, no pressure on him. And again now Barrow have got to bring that ball away, error-free from the try line. Very clever player, Brendan Lindsay.
Not a 40-20 from Lindsay, but it's still pushed Barrow Raiders deep back into their own half. Let's get some injury news from the sidelines, because it's been a bruising contest, Rod.
Yeah, very bruising, Bill. Dave McDonald, as you saw, very woozy. Now sat on the Sheffield bench and also sporting a gash, a nasty gash over his left eye, but Barry was spot on. The medical people took the decision away from him and just got him off the field to make sure that he could get a little bit of rest, recuperation and some treatment. He was in a bad way. I wouldn't think we'll see him again tonight, and we won't see Richard Fletcher either for Barrow. That nasty knee injury means he's reduced to a spectator sat on the sidelines. Steve McCormack will have to do it all with just 16 men, Bill.
Penalty against the Sheffield Eagles for a ball steal in there. I think Mitch Stringer was the culprit.
Brett McDermott trying to ramp the ball up and get his side some field position.
So it's Barrow Raiders now. Braychek. It has cooled down a bit. That's one thing they've got to be thankful out there. McDermott bounces off the first tackle, but finished off by Peter Green. Willing worker for the Sheffield Eagles side. Rooney now. Campbell checks, comes back across field, and Stringer gets a hold of him. And gets him pinned to the ground. Here's Osler now. 4 tackles gone on the 10-metre line as Mossop tries his luck and very nearly gets there. He's held up on the last tackle, Nathan Mossop, but just for a moment it looked promising for the Barrow Raiders hooker.
That was good technique from Sheffield there. Rather than push the Barrow player back over the line, they just chose to lock that ball up. And how many times do we see that mistake? The ball isn't secure, and that player gets the ball down.
Beg your pardon, this is the last tackle. The kick is well taken by Mills.
Just look
on
at
his
the
own
sun
try
in that
line.
corner. Danny Mills has a lot to cope with there. Not only does he have to contend with the Barrow defenders rushing towards him, but you can see even now he's squinting.
Now the Barrow Raiders mobbing the Sheffield Eagles player in possession, who is Trevor Exton at the moment. That ball was stolen blatantly by Nathan Mossop, who looked round and said, did the referee see me?
And
He did.
Steve McCormack on a touchdown, shaking his head. Again, they get Sheffield in good field position. They've got to bring the ball away. But again, they give that penalty away. That is not helping Steve McCormack's cause.
Here's Peter Green. Stringer now. Scored the opening try of the evening when Sheffield Eagles were dominating early on, but it's parity between these two sides at the moment, 20 points apiece. As Sheffield play the ball, and Lindsay gets it at the second attempt. Here's Missy Talapapa, 2 tries to his name already this evening, the Eagles fullback and captain. Knowles could have been penalised there, a little shove as Talapapa tried to get to his feet. Fifth tackle, Stringer. Burnett back on the inside. That ball goes to ground and Broadbent comes across to tidy up for his side, but they were offside with the Sheffield Eagles.
Mitchell Stringer put a lovely little banana kick in. He was facing the right-hand side, kicked it towards the left. Unfortunately, the Sheffield kick chase team were offside. I don't think they were expecting the big front row to put the kick in.
20 points apiece. Barrow Raiders looking for a rare win here at the Don Valley Stadium. They've got a poor record here, just one win in 8 previous visits. Another penalty goes against the Sheffield Eagles. Brendan Lindsay will be spoken to by the referee. And the referee getting a bit of bird from the Eagles supporters for that decision.
Well, he's not taking any back chat. Got a few of the referee. Brendan Lindsay saying that that ball wasn't stripped on Knowles. It was just a good tackle.
Here is Knowles again then for the Barrow Raiders.
Well, he's back for some more, the big back rower.
Andy Braycheck now, Welsh international. Plays the ball just on the 10-metre line. Here is Rooney now, once an England international, Jamie Rooney. But he's tackled. Lindsay in there once more. Braycheck. Nice footwork from Andy Braycheck, taking him to in the shadow of those Sheffield Eagles posts. Campbell. Here's Luisi now. Luisi fires the pass to Liam Harrison. Harrison started off the evening wearing 4. He's now wearing 33. I think because he had a bloodied nose earlier on, so he's had to change his shirt. Now then, Campbell will kick the ball cross-field, and that's another tester for Danny Mills. Ballard timing his run, but too strong. Out on the full.
That's unfortunate that Barrow and their execution of that play just wasn't spot on, because you do feel they'll get some value from that bottom left-hand corner. Virtually impossible for Danny Mills to see what's going on.
Sheffield Eagles in action tonight. Sheffield Eagles are in action tomorrow night, or the Sheffield Eagle is in action tomorrow night. A greyhound named in honour of the Sheffield Eagles will be running at the local Allerton dog track, making its debut, I think, and all the Sheffield players will be going down to cheer it on. Apparently it's got a bit of pace. Well, Craig Cook was going to unload that ball to Mitch Stringer. Mitch Stringer was looking in the opposite direction.
You'd like to think it's got a bit of pace, Bill, if it's a greyhound running in a race tomorrow night.
Big fan of the dogs, you, Tez.
Here comes Menzi Yeri, and Yeri couldn't take that pass from Brendan Lindsay, and the ball goes to ground. It's sloppy from the Eagles there. Yeri just couldn't take that pass, and Ned Katic scooped up the loose ball. Here's Brett McDermott. Paul Noon on the field, and Steve McCormack having to work his resources carefully now with Richard Fletcher out for the game. Brett McDermott. Here is Rooney once more. Rooney, short pass to Braycheck. Gets the ball away well. Katic. Here's McDermott now. Almost basketball time from this Barrow Raiders side. Oh! And Mossop came for the ball for the intercept. It ended up going through the hands of Andreas Bauer, and the Barrow Raiders blow a chance, and the Sheffield Eagles were lucky to get away with that.
Again, Liam Harrison, his catch and pass or draw and pass, just not quite on the money. But it was a few fumbles down there on the right-hand corner, and Barrow with possession, just not too sure what to do with it.
So that was an opportunity for the Barrow Raiders. Missy Talapapa, the Sheffield Eagles fullback. So the Eagles, with an hour gone, level here at 20 points apiece as Peter Green gets to his feet to play the ball, and things are just settled into A bit of a lull at the moment. Since Missy Talapapa's try, converted by Bergin, level the scores. That's the penalty against the Barrow Raiders, offside.
And that's how players like Craig Cook earn their money. As soon as he saw that the markers weren't set, Craig Cook, he's out to make Gareth Ewer make a decision. And he made it in the way of the Sheffield Eagles.
Now then, here's Mitch Stringer. On the 10-metre line, he plays that ball. Here's Ryan Hepworth. Hepworth doing well to offload, finds Lindsay. Lindsay back to Stringer again. Stringer taking him on himself. And Gary Broadbent gets hold of a leg and drags him back. But Cook serves it up for Brooks, and Brooks going for the line himself. He's lost the ball. He'll go to the video ref, but I think that's got to be a knock-on from Matty Brooks.
I agree, Bill.
Mossop has claimed the try, but Gareth Ewer asking Stuart Cummins to have a look at this.
I agree. I think there was a knock-on.
Knocking on heaven's door.
I think that he's seen if this ball was stripped here.
But watch this now. There's a knock-on. There it is.
He shovels that ball over the line. Now then, does Zeb Luisi rip that ball out? There's two in the tackle.
I think Zeb Luisi makes a play for that ball.
But there's the knock-on. So is it a penalty to Sheffield for the ball steal?
Is this a multiple choice?
I don't know. Very rarely do I know the rules, Bill.
I think this is. I think you can see Zeb Luisi. He's looking at where that ball is. He strips it with his right hand. I think this is a penalty to the Sheffield side.
Stuart Cummins is the video ref, having a look at that.
Well, there's a knock on there by Mossop. But Zeb Luisi definitely strips that ball. Well, he's just checking for the ground, and there's the knock on. So it's no try.
Is he looking to see whether... We'll find out.
Jason Mossop is the man that's knocked it on. Gareth Ewer waiting for the decision. And it is a penalty. The decision was that Zeb Luisi did go for that ball in the tackle. Matty Brooks denied the try. But Sheffield Eagles have another opportunity here from this tap penalty. And Hepworth, legs pumping, the former Royal Marine, is tackled just short of that try line. The Eagles supporters in the main stand opposite, finding their voices. The sides level at 20 points apiece here. Missy Talapapa struggling to get away from the grip of Martin Osler there. It's Brett McDermott, in fact. And it's another penalty, and Gary Broadbent is going to be spoken to by referee Ewer. And it's another Sheffield Eagles penalty right in front of those Barrow Raiders posts. So the Raiders under real pressure. Into the final quarter of the game, Craig Cook yet to get on the scoreboard. He's got 7 tries in the last 5 games as the Sheffield Eagles hooker. He's surely going to fire tonight, is Cook, but not from this situation. Lindsay, Mike Burnett, who's run strongly, the dual registered player from Hull FC. There is Cook in there once more. Sets the ball up for Menzi Yeri. They're hammering away at this Barrow Raiders defence. Cook, will he try his luck from here? Lindsay checks, goes back left, and he's pinned down by McDermott. It's good defence from the Barrow Raiders. Here's Matty Brooks now. Brooks back for Missy Talapapa, and Talapapa keeps his feet, gets support, but nobody was there. They keep the ball alive. It's back to 1. And another set of 6 for this Sheffield Eagles side. There was a Barrow hand in there. Here is Stringer once more. It's non-stop pressure at the moment. And the Barrow Raiders really are on the ropes here. The pass is fired it into the path of Alex Zostak by Matty Brooks. Zostak plays the ball. Brooks, Lindsay. Here's Missy Talapapa. Back to Lindsay. And Lindsay chose the wrong option there. Back to where the Barrow Raiders defenders were waiting. That's 3 tackles gone. If Barrow Raiders can survive this bout of pressure, they'll have done well. And Hepworth once more. Good strong run from the prop forward. Here is Matty Brooks now. Brooks, good pass from Brooks, and oh, Mossop has just stretched out. Was that a double movement? And another video ref decision. Jason Mossop, has he got his first try of the season?
I think he's short. Even if it touches the line, I think it's double movement anyway.
That's down.
Yeah, he reaches out. Even if that was over, that's no try.
And that is going to relieve the pressure, surely, for the Barrow Raiders. Mossop, is that a penalty on the way for the Raiders?
You'd have to think so, won't you, Bill? And all that pressure amounts to nothing for Sheffield.
There's a boot in there. Well, the video ref is having a look to see whether he's got this ball down on the line. He's short there,
well,
surely.
Andreas Bauer's in control of that tackle. He's not let go of the Sheffield players, so this is not... I can't see this being awarded a try. He's still in control, Bauer, at the back. When Mossop, I think the momentum's stopped from going forward.
Again, referee Hewer waits for the word from Stuart Cummins, the video ref. It is no try, it is a double movement. It's a penalty to the Barrow Raiders, and they will breathe a big sigh of relief.
The temptation was just too much for Mossop. I'm going to give some credit to Jamie Rooney here for defending out wide, and also Zeb Luisi. They're getting up, they're putting pressure on Sheffield, they're turning the players back inside, and the Barrow defenders have got to be more honest on the inside defence. Sheffield are really starting to test them.
And I think the reason Mossop had a double go at it is because he didn't know Andreas Bauer was anywhere near.
Well, that penalty then takes the Barrow Raiders away from their danger zone, up to the halfway line, and now they're into the Eagles' half. Noon was just hoping that somebody would turn up in support. So Jason Mossop denied for the Sheffield Eagles, his first try of the season. Here is Michael Knowles now, and the Barrow Raiders showing a little sign of the efforts draining their energy resources. Good flowing play for them here as Katic comes across the field. Katic, oh, an audacious ball out the back door, and that was just too audacious, and that's a coach hair-tearer, that is. Steve McCormack maintaining his composure there, but I should imagine he was not impressed with that one.
Ned Katic is a big player for the Barrow Raiders, and what they need to do is get him involved in the game. A bit like we were talking about with Jamie Rooney right at the start of the game. He's not going to influence his teammates in a positive way with gambles like that.
Menzieri still working hard on his Kit for Cummel's charity, Menzieri, and has got an amazing response from the Rugby League fraternity, but not the response he wanted there from the referee. The knock-on, says Gareth Hewer, and head and feed to the Barrow Raiders on the Sheffield Eagles 20-metre line.
I'd like another look at this one, Bill. Whenever a ball spurts out like that, at some point you tend to think it's been helped along its way. There you'll see, let's have a look. Gary Broadbent's arm could have been accidental, and in that case you'd expect Menzieri to have a good grip on it.
Campbell almost through there from that scrum. Katic now, change of direction, finds McDermott. McDermott drives it into the heart of the Sheffield Eagles defence and is put to the ground. Here's Luisi now. Rooney will again try and hit Bauer out wide, and he does and succeeds, and again the Barrow Raiders get their noses in front, and Andreas Bauer gets his first try of the season since returning to the Barrow Raiders. And those Raiders supporters who've made the journey delighted at the way their side has battled back here. Andreas Bauer, who came back from playing in France with Carcassonne in the elite competition, on the scoreboard.
Menzieri in his own red zone, whether it's helped on its way or not, it gives Barrow good possession, in good position, and their core skills on this occasion was good. Andreas Bauer leans into the oncoming Sheffield defender just to make sure he's not bumped into touch. Two hands around the ball, cautious and wary of his feet, not being pushed into touch. Good work.
27 years of age, born in Auckland, but Samoan international. And Rooney now with this conversion attempt from out wide, and he's wide of the target. So the lead is still a narrow one for the Barrow Raiders. Sheffield 20, Barrow Raiders 24 here. And these two sides, 5th and 4th in the table. Well, there's not a lot to separate them this evening. Just that Bauer try at the moment. And Barrow Raiders get only their 2nd win on this ground in recent history. The last one was June 2004, a 24 points to 16 success. So they haven't won here since then. But they're in the lead at the moment, but still time for this game to turn around once more. It's been seesawing all evening.
Sheffield are starting to get a touch loose around the ruck. Every time Barrow are playing the ball, just have a look at the tight defenders. You can see some of the Barrow players pointing up, trying to exploit that. Jamie Rooney with the kick.
He stepped just outside his 40 there. Missy Talapapa comes across anyway. And he'll run the ball back. Not very far. Good chase from the Barrow Raiders.
That is an enthusiastic chase. Michael Knowles on Ned Cattick coming from the right-hand side to put pressure on Talapapa.
Quick play the ball from Bergin, though. Here goes Danny Mills, looking to burst through the first line of defence. Thumped to the ground, though. And Mills felt that. Mike Burnett offside against the Barrow Raiders. Danny Mills is still down. I think it's a touch of cramp.
Just failing to get back on side, Barrow. Those are the little 1%ers when the game is in the balance that you need to get right. It's Danny Mills with a touch of cramp. It's very warm, very humid out there.
Lindsay, here is Hepworth, and Hepworth tackled by Paul Noon. Cook, Lindsay now. Joe Hurst on the field. Fresh set of legs for the Sheffield Eagles side. Here is Peter Green. 8 years a Doncaster player, but now in the colours of their near neighbours and arch rivals, the Sheffield Eagles, as Missy Talapapa. 2 tries to his name already this evening for the Sheffield Eagles. Captain plays the ball just short of that Barrow Raiders try line. Hepworth gets the ball away. Oh, Lindsay, it's gone backwards, says the referee. Lindsay was facing his own try line as he fumbled that ball. That's the 5th. They've lost momentum and territory. Needs to be a good kick from Lindsay. He's running it. Nobody on the same wavelength at the moment, and Hepworth will get all wrapped up, or will he? They still keep it alive. Mike Burnett, can he get it round the corner? He can. Missy Talapapa comes back in field, gives it to Burnett again, and Burnett goes to ground. That would have been another Eagles spectacular if it had come off. But somehow the Barrow Raiders just managed to get the tackle in to stop Mike Burnett.
It was superb scramble from Barrow. Lots of bodies, lots of urgency. And my word, weren't Sheffield testing their desire and resolve.
Here is Chris Young. One of the try scorers for the Barrow Raiders this evening. And Barrow leading by 24 points to 20 into the last 10 minutes now. 4 tackles gone. Quick play the ball. Rooney, little chip kick for Ballard. Ballard can't get a hold of it.
I think he was offside anyway then, Bill. I think the smarter option would have been to put it in the corner. Just look to strangle and suffocate. Ballard, he's aware that he's close to the line, and while he's looking at the ball, he doesn't know how close he is.
So head and feet to the Sheffield Eagles on the halfway line. The Eagles looking to hit back again. Hurst looking for a quick play the ball. Peter Green now. Braychek meets him head on and makes the tackle. Mark Aston looking a little bit anxious on the sidelines. Stringer. Now here's Lindsay. Lindsay back inside to Missy Talapapa. 4 tackles gone. He complains that that tackle on him was high. Looks at the referee. Lindsay, Menzieri coming back in field. Surely it's time for the big PNG man now.
Ball.
Here's Ryan Hepworth. Hepworth is just short of the try line. Again, valiant Barrow Raiders defence. Cook going for it himself, and he's held up. That'll be the turnover.
Well, good play by Gary Broadbent to prevent Craig Cook from scoring this try. Good body position, just flicking Craig Cook over the line. He's injured himself in the process of stopping Craig Cook.
Wasn't it a lovely offload, though? Here we see the goal line defence from Barrow again. But Sheffield, if they can get through the Barrow defence and make that ball available, if there's a player there, then I think they'll get some joy.
Braychek looking to put some distance between his own try line and the rest of his team. Up to the 40-metre line, they've made good progress of the Barrow Raiders. And here's Paul Noon, almost reaching halfway, and 4 tackles gone. Will Rooney kick now? He does, and he hoists that one. And Danny Mills doesn't want it. Missy Talapapa was a little bit nonchalant, and he's lost it, and Ned Katic has got it, and they've paid the price. And we've seen Katic do this before. At Widnes, in fact, with that 11-second try in the second half when he followed up a high kick. And Danny Mills and his fullback Missy Talapapa hesitated. Neither of them claimed the ball, and Ned Katic certainly did. And Barrow Raiders' top try scorer gets his 16th try of the season.
We mustn't be too critical on Danny Mills here. You need to have courage under this. There's a lack of communication. Neither player. Ned Katic, just with determination and the will to work, puts himself in the right place. Danny Mills, again, it's a very difficult place to be, but you need to make those catches at vital times.
And Rooney, can he land this one? And has that given the Barrow Raiders a vital lead in this game, because now it's 30 points to 20, Barrow lead, and Sheffield Eagles in the closing minutes of this game have really got to magic something now. Ned Katic, well, he never gives up. Doesn't know a lost cause when he sees one, Ned Katic. Sometimes he lands himself in hot water, but he's all or nothing for his side.
You've got an important job as a winger and as a fullback to catch that ball on the throw. And Danny Mills just pulled out of that.
And from the restart, Martin Osler comes up with an error that'll give Sheffield Eagles a scrum only about 20 metres out.
Well, would have done better patting that back to Ballard. You can see instantly Ned Katic putting his finger up saying 1 set of 6, we must defend 1 set of 6.
He would have been better catching that ball on the full, I think.
Referee wants that scrum to pack down again. So into the last 6 minutes here, and Sheffield Eagles need a couple of tries. They're not going to get it that way because the ball's come to Bergin, and so has Andreas Bauer and Liam Harrison to very quickly pin him down. Here's Mossop, Jason Mossop, so close to a try. Cook. Joe Hurst is tackled about 10 metres out. Craig Cook once more. Exton. Mossop again is just short of the try line. This time he avoids the temptation of going for it at the second attempt. Hurst swings the ball out. Barrow Raiders very quickly off the line to close down, but have they left a hole for the Eagles to exploit? Not there.
And again, it's Zeb Luisi getting out really quick off the line.
Lindsay. And Lindsay's ball finds touch. And it was on the last, it'll be the turnover. And just desperation there from Brendan Lindsay, trying to get the ball out.
I think he was claiming that was stripped. Turned round and put one finger up, suggesting that there wasn't one defender. I think it did have a bit of help when it came out.
On the 20-metre line with the Barrow Raiders. Here's Chris Young. Well, this has been a a really strong, courageous performance from this Barrow Raiders side. 8-0 down and looking out of sorts early on here. They've lost Richard Fletcher for much of this second half through injury, but they've defended heroically. There was a real period of pressure when the Eagles were hammering away at the line, and they've withstood it, and now they've got the penalty.
Again, you can't kid the referee. When contact's already been made and the ball propels forward like that, see Andy Braychek clapping, applauding the decision by the referee, Gareth Hewitt. Ryan Hepworth, that man in your screen, giving the penalty away, and Steve McCormick hurrying his team on. He still wants more points.
Well, isn't sport fantastic like that? Sometimes when you're met with adversity, it galvanises your team, and it certainly has done tonight.
Well, Liam Harrison's not tapped that ball on the correct spot, but Steve McCormick wants this Barrow side to score another point, score another couple of points to deny Sheffield the bonus point.
Noon offloads that ball. Here is Chris Young. Jamie Butler. Rooney marshalling his troops. Chris Young, and Young again driven back in the tackle. Campbell. Here is Luisi. Luisi for Rooney. Rooney, will he look for Bauer again? No, he'll look for the glory himself, but he's tackled. Harrison now. Here's Luisi. Luisi across the field. Osler gets away from Menzieri. They've done a good job to keep Menzieri quiet tonight to the Barrow Raiders. And they're heading for a rare victory here at the Don Valley Stadium, which will be rounded off by Mossop's try. And Nathan Mossop confirms the victory. And what a performance this has been from this Barrow Raiders side. A host of players missing. A player injured during the course of the game. Steve McCormack down to his last 17 fit players, but they've done him proud here tonight.
And Nathan Mossop comes out from acting halfback. Beautiful dummy. And poor marker play from Sheffield on their own goal line. Just gives Nathan Mossop just half an inch, and that's all he needs. And Steve McCormack get in there. He knows that they've been against it right from the minute one.
Nathan Mossop, who interestingly picked up a few tips from Kieran Cunningham when Barrow Raiders played St Helens in the Challenge Cup. Kieran Cunningham just had a word with the Raiders hooker after the game. I think during the game as well, he was chatting to him. And Rooney has converted Mossop's try, and it's been an outstanding second half performance from this Barrow Raiders side, who've battled all the way, and now they've denied the Sheffield Eagles even satisfaction of a bonus point. So Mark Aston disappointed with the way his side have let it slip tonight, surely, because 8-0 up, had Barrow Raiders on their heels, and they haven't managed to keep the pressure on. They've stuck in there, they've hung in there. Ned Kattick holding his head in his hands because of that error, but surely his coach will forgive him that one at this stage of the game, into the last minute.
Well, again, Sheffield still chasing this bonus point, the mistake from Kattick. But it's been a very clinical performance in this second half by Barrow. They've got the result, scoring 22 points. That's what Steve McCormack will be happy with. But can Sheffield finish with a flourish? Good shot.
Missy Talapapa, 2 tries to his name tonight for the Sheffield Eagles. Well, Sheffield have been hard to beat on their own pitch this season. They've won 7 and drawn 1 either here or at their other venue, Bramall Lane, so far this year. And only Widnes have won here, in actual fact. So it's some performance from this Barrow Raiders side, as Mossop denied twice in this second half. Keeps plugging away, hoping that he'll get on the scoreboard. Can the Eagles at least rescue a bonus point here tonight? Because, of course, they're under pressure for their place in the top 6. Widnes, Batley, Toulouse, breathing down their necks. And Exton now. Exton is in. Trevor Exton gets the try with just a few seconds remaining. In fact, the hooter sounds, just time for Bergin, presumably, to go for the conversion.
And just look at the reaction from Trevor Exton there. He knows the game has gone away. Craig Cook comes out, commits some defenders, and Trevor Exton goes on a nice short line, but it's all in vain.
So at least they've got the bonus point. And Bergin will have the opportunity to confirm that with this conversion attempt. A satisfying evening for him, at least with the boot. But other than that, it hasn't been a happy night for this Sheffield Eagles side, and it did look so promising for them early on. But they've come up against a really committed Barrow Raiders side. They've got problems behind the scenes, the Barrow Raiders. But on the pitch, they've done the job for their coach tonight. Bergin converts. 26-36, the final score in favour of the Barrow Raiders. And they close up the gap on the sides above them in the championship table. Sheffield Eagles pick up a bonus point. But Steve McCormack has got to be satisfied with the effort from his side in this second half, especially, Barry, when you think that there was no Richard Fletcher.
They were down to 16 fit players, and there'd have been some tiredness, some exhaustion. As we mentioned on Thursday nights, the majority of these players work during the day, and it's very difficult for them, especially the Barrow players, when they're on an away match, to get ready.
Well, they've done it tonight, and they're going to travel home with the 3 points after the victory, and the man of the match, a key man of the match for the Barrow Raiders, loose forward Zeb Luisi. He's with Rod.
Zeb, well done on winning the man of the match. There's the champagne that goes with it. That was a pretty tough, close game for an hour. Was it in the final quarter that you really ground them down?
Oh yeah, we worked very hard to obviously grind them down. It was a tough game physically. Both teams made a lot of mistakes and gave away a lot of penalties. But gratitude to Sheffield. We obviously came out with the win, and it was a good day for us.
Yeah, you've now moved up to within a couple of points of second spot, and you've still got a game in hand. So there's still a possibility of another grand final appearance here for Barrow this season, isn't there?
Oh, we're not looking that far ahead. We're just trying to week to week and obviously get 3 points as much as we can. And if at the end of the year we're in the spot to get the grand final, then we'll obviously take it with both hands.
Champagne's there. There's £100 to the charity of your choice too, Zeb. Can you just tell us where that will be going?
Go to the Brendan Rooney Fund.
Okay, lovely. Thanks for that. Let's bring in Steve McCormack, the Barrow coach. Steve, I'll tell you what, that was a lot different from the game you played at home against these, wasn't it? 50 points to 4 up there. This was a lot tougher, wasn't it? Real tough game.
Yeah, it was always going to be that. It's a tough place to come, this. And to be fair, I'm delighted. I thought our goal line defence second half, our character was fantastic. And, you know, we're a little bit patchy. We played some great stuff and then we just clock off a little bit. But full credit to Sheffield. You know, they're a good quality side, a big side. And I think our defensive effort second half was superb.
Yeah, there was a period there when they had 4 sets on your line, and I was watching you quite closely when it was still a 4-point game, and you held Craig Cook up over the line, and you were jumping around like you'd scored a try. It obviously meant that much to you.
Yeah, well, certainly everyone in this division's took a tough win. You know, this is a tough place to come. You know, they're a good side at home, and as a defensive effort, I thought was outstanding. You know, we had a couple of sets where we had to defend on our line, and we showed a little bit of composure, and we played some good stuff. We didn't play as good stuff as we'd like to. But we're a little bit patchy. We play fantastic, and then we're pretty ordinary at times. So, you know, it's pretty exciting that we can get a lot better this team. But tonight was all about character, and delighted with that win.
Zeb was saying that it was pretty much a one game at a time mentality. Are you a league table looker? Are you looking at where you're standing on the league ladder?
No, not really. You know, we'd love to be top now. We'd love to be undefeated, but it's a tough league. It's a real good competition. It's a credit to Rugby League. I mean, Super League is, you know, the pinnacle of our game. But underneath Super League, there's some fantastic rugby played, and you know, we're thereabouts at the moment. We've got a game in hand, and you know, that was a 17 players we've got there. We've not got anybody else to come in because of injuries. So, you know, that man, you've just got the man of the match. Hunter really played with, you know, he's playing on one leg. So, delighted for him, delighted for where we are, and you know, we can only get better.
Well done, Steve. Good win tonight. Thank you.
That's remarkable. Steve McCormack agreeing with the Barry and Terry's man of the match decision there. Zeb Luisi getting the nod, and it's a shame Richard Fletcher just being helped across the field, and to do that without his services. That's a big effort from this Barrow Raiders side, and they've beaten the Sheffield Eagles by 36 points to 26, and it was a big second half performance from this Barrow Raiders side that saw them home, and as their coach said, some great goal line defence from them as well when Sheffield were pressing. And there is the table confirmation that the Barrow Raiders have closed the gap on Featherstone, Lee and Halifax up at the top, and they've got that game in hand. Sheffield Eagles stay in 5th place, but they've got Batley, Widnes and Toulouse breathing down their necks.